Hello, and welcome to the NBBL Season 3 playoffs. We are in the quarterfinals. We ended 5th in the regular season, so we got to pick our opponent. It was a bit of an odd thing, so numbers 1 and 5 got to pick their opponents from... Number 1 got to pick between 3 and 4, and I got to pick between 7 and 8. We had the option of Frosty, which we played week 3 and narrowly lost to, and Kingler, who we played week 7 and narrowly beat. I felt like I kind of laid all my cards on the table against Kingler. I didn't really have any ways I wanted to change up the game. So I ended up choosing Frosty. I feel like maybe that was a mistake. Frosty, both of them are great players, but I think Frosty definitely brought some crazy good sets versus me. And the only advantage I feel like I had over him was that we had made transactions since, so that might mess with his prep a little. Since he did beat me last time, he could just keep his team the same, but we'll see. We're going to queue up here in just a minute. I'm just going to talk about the teams a little bit. I will probably put a timestamp in so you can see, just get straight to the battle. But we were the only team during the regular season that he did not bring Iron Valiant against. I think it was definitely the Golden Go was a good deterrent for that. I don't think that happens again. I think Valiant definitely shows up. Ting Lu is the only thing that prevents him from getting swept by either Moltres or Deoxys, like more setup type Deoxys or Moltres sets. So I think it has to come, and from there it's kind of a grab bag. I think at least one of his Terracaps come. My team kind of mono loses to Electros, so if he brings that, we're in danger. And he says he's searching now, so we're going to go ahead and search. We're bringing some different sets, except for the hands. The hands is relatively identical to the last one, just because it's such a good blanket check to several Pokemon on his team. Gyarados definitely could come again. I want to lead Landorus, but if he's Adrenaline Orb Gyarados lead again, then we are in trouble. And we see both Terracaps. No Pecharunt once again, so I'm glad I didn't super over prep for the Pecharunt. I don't know where my calc tab is. Okay, found it. I really wanted to bring Leafeon this week. Our only real change up to last time we played him was we swapped out Blastoise for Moltres. Alchemy didn't look that good, and Deoxys honestly gets just hard-walled so hard by Jirachi, even though he didn't bring it. So no Jirachi, no Pecharunt, no Noivern this time, which was a huge thorn in my side last time. Florges does show up, both Terracaps show up, no Electros, no Glamet. Now, Serena has a chance to one-shot Landorus. We do always outspeed it, and we want our rocks up ASAP. But I feel like he might expect the Landorus lead. So something like Cinderace could be really solid. I suppose his hazard setters are Ting Lu and Ting Lu, yeah. So if he leads that, it would be nice to have something in on it that could take advantage. I think Cinderace is decent because we could drop a low kick immediately. Cinderace is just pretty decent, at least to pivot on everything. I don't know that we can win this. I have not given this a whole lot of time, sadly. As I've mentioned a couple of times now, life is coming at me fast. New job, new vehicle, a lot of things happening. So Pokemon has unfortunately had to take a back burner. I'm going to try my best. We have not been lucky this season. We have gotten incredibly unlucky. So maybe that continues today. Our Grafai is highly depending on Gunk Shot hitting. He does lead the Gyarados. So if he's not Scarfed, we're in good shape. Is he Intimidate this time, or is he Moxie? He's still Moxie Gyarados, so he might be the exact same set as last time. I mean, Sucker Punch does like 40%, but that's assuming he attacks. I think my safest play is just a U-turn. We will show him that we're Libero, but I think I've only run Libero. I considered a Blaze set with Will-O-Wisp. I think that would have went insane here, actually, but mischance, you know, this is so risky. He could definitely click Earthquake here, but could also definitely click a Water move. Hands is pretty important. I guess with no Pecharunt, it's less important, but it's also our primary check to Entei. Landorus is a little less important, I suppose. He could just Dragon Dance straight up here, which would be kind of terrifying. In which case, I don't know that Hands takes an Earthquake at +1. So, yeah, we should. I know Hands is really important for Entei, but we need to scare this Gyarados. If he's Terra Ground Earthquake, it actually might KO. He does just Waterfall though, so he did make the right play. Holy crap. Like 100 and something. Okay, just max attack Gyarados, really. His switches here are plentiful, or he could just Terra in front of us. Go for a Dragon Dance. I did not get rid of... Oh no, I got rid of everything. It's kind of hard to say what he'll do. He does like to make plays. I think Florges is a fairly easy switch-in for him. Entei also could be Ting-Lu. Like, it's really hard to kind of guess what he's going to go into. I think it's safe for me to just go for a Wild Charge, and worst case, Ting-Lu comes in and we have to switch. So he will Terra. It could definitely be Terra Ground Earthquake. And if it is, then he got me good. He is Terra Ground this time, nice. So he'll eat the Wild Charge. Earthquake may KO. It looks like it'll leave us on a Sliver. That's a good play though, and does DD, so an Earthquake definitely will KO now. I can use Landorus to come in and intimidate this, but honestly we might just get swept by Gyarados instantly, which is kind of funny. So an Earthquake will definitely KO. I could pivot Landorus in for an Intimidate. We do have Rocky Helmet. It will give him a speed boost, but at least we have Sucker Punch on Cinderace. So last time he ran Adrenaline Orb. So when we cut his speed, when we cut his attack, he'll gain speed. We'll see if he ran that again. So he's Clear Amulet, so he can't get intimidated. Okay, smart. You're at Clear Amulet. Waterfall, EQ. Last time he didn't bring water coverage at all. Dragon Dance. +1. He's not intimidated. He will KO. So we're really losing this dance. So we either have to sack Lando or sack something else. It's really hard. Obviously we can get Unburdened with Grafai, but +1 Gyarados might outrun us. No, it looks like Grafai, if we activate early, we will be able to outrun, but we won't KO. So we actually do need this helmet chip. Even then, it may not be enough. I thought rocks were important here, but we have to let Landorus go. He does have Ice Fang as well, so we know his whole set. Does take Rocky Helmet this time. Interesting. And we know he's Moxie. So Grafai, he would know would threaten him into like an Encore. He's at +2 attack right now. Cinderace's Sucker Punch is doing not quite enough, and obviously anything's blowing us back. Scarf Golden Go probably still outspeeds, but Scarf Golden Go's also really good into the rest of his team. Actually, Scarf Golden Go Make It Rain sounds pretty nice right here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that. That saves us from burning any of our other stuff early. Now, if he's like super Spadef, he lives 1, but I don't think he is. So I'm just gonna drop him Make It Rain. We will show him we're Scarfed immediately, and it is what it is, you know. He can bring in whatever he wants after this. He could bring in Ting-Lu and Hazard Stack. Should KO. I'm seeing 60 to 70, and he looks like he's at about 60. Based on our U-turn from Cinderace into Rocky Helmet. So we do drop the Make It Rain, and it does KO. Okay. So, Gyarados ends up going 1-1. Honestly, absolutely terrifying threat. It was so hard for me to kind of build for. Entei could definitely come in here for absolutely free right now. As well as a couple other things. Ting-Lu really wouldn't mind. It is the Entei. We did let our switch into this get weakened. What on our team? Landorus. We had to sack. So it went 0-1. And then Golden Go picked up a KO. So we at least didn't get 6-0'd. So Golden Go. 1 and something. Obviously we don't want to stay in on this. I think Hands is our real only switch in. Maybe he two-shots us now that I've let it take some chip, unfortunately. Clear Amulet Gyarados, that was brilliant, honestly, in leading it so that it doesn't get hit by hazards later. Sacred Fire does not quite two-shot us. It did like 160. Wrong Pokemon. So it's not banded, probably. It looks like it might be a boosting item of some type, but it's at least not banded. Our best way to hit him back is Wild Charge. Something like Serena could come in. A Drain Punch is also pretty nice because we could get health back, and if he switches out, it hits most things that come in that's not Iron Valiant or Florges, I suppose. Could make a read and go for a Heavy Slam here. We are kind of on the back foot, but if we give this just a dead turn, then I don't think that's very smart. So he does just Sacred Fire again. It won't KO. Leaves at 53. We can't get burned. We're Covert Cloak. And Drain Punch does do about 40%. I don't think we'll get enough health back to live another Sacred Fire, though. Not quite, unfortunately. So now we pick a sack again. So into Sacred Fire, into Cinderace. Is doing about 50%, and then E-Speed would pick us off. Well, without Band, it's doing like 30 and 30. So Cinderace is an okay play here, I think. But we do kind of want it to clean up in the end, and what else is Hands really here for, right? Not really anything at this point. It doesn't really do much. It kind of threatens Ting-Lu, but we would just dodge an Earthquake. Everything else outspeeds and KOs us at this point. So I think we can just click Heavy Slam in case he does want to switch for whatever reason, but he does just click Sacred Fire. Lands 3 in a row, but it's 95% accurate, so, you know, no real surprise there. He's almost certainly inner focus, so Landorus would not have been able to intimidate. So we know Sacred Fire. And Iron Hands, horrible showing by me using Iron Hands this season. I have just absolutely let it get beaten up every single battle. Obviously Cinderace here with a low kick would be pretty strong. He doesn't really get coverage that would hit us once we click low kick. Cinderace is also kind of our best bet into Serena though. So letting it get weakened isn't great. We want Moltres to pop its weakness policy, if at all possible. And I don't know that this is going to do it unless it has like Stone Edge. So I do think Cinderace is an okay switch in here. Honestly, getting rid of this would be fantastic for me because Extreme Speed really does beat our Grafaiai set. So I'm just going to click low kick. He could E-Speed here. It doesn't two-shot, I would imagine. Could pretty easily go a variety of things. It does just decide to stay in and let me low kick. He could burn us now, which would be frustrating, but he agilities, okay. But he doesn't have any way to KO us. So I think I am pretty free to click Sucker Punch here. Right? Like, the worst he does is E-Speed, and then we get one more turn of chip damage. Alternatively, I could just take one hit and low kick. I don't think Entei has a great way to hit me. I guess Sacred Fire does like 80. So I will Sucker. If he speeds, he got me. Okay, we do hit the Sucker. We do knock out Entei. So we're just in a big sack war right now. So Entei goes 1-1. Cinderace gets a KO. But he's still got so much in the back, and it's all full health, and I have no hazards, so it's a pretty tough one. So we lost Hands, lost Lando, lost our defensive core. We only have our setup mons and our offensive pivots. He lost Entei, he lost Gara. So I think he saves Florges because it always beats Moltres in a vacuum. So our best win con here is Grafaiai, but we really do need to weaken Ting-Lu. Goes into the Valiant, and it is Booster. Is it Booster Speed? Valiant is Booster Speed. We're AV, but we're a fighting type, which is really bad. So if we switch our typing... Moonblast shouldn't KO, but it's gonna hurt, and then Pyro Ball back to him is not great. I mean, we could switch, get our Fire type back. I think he might over-predict and click something like knock here. Could be an opportunity for us to get a Pyro Ball off, but we're not Libero. I don't know how much damage that's really doing. Golden Go doesn't outrun this, but I think it's got to be Golden Go. And if he knocks, you caught me, and I can bring Cinderace back in afterward. If he's like SD, we're in super trouble. It's just Moonblast, so we would have lived that. Worth noting. I did 96 damage. So, modest, maybe? Or, no, it can't be a boosting item. My calc is saying he has to be modest. No? Strange. Oh, never mind. My mental calc is bad. He's actually mixed. So, Shadow Ball should not knock us out. Knockoff should not knock us out unless he's pretty heavily invested. And Make It Rain is relatively free. So this shouldn't KO, but my calcs could be off. Doesn't KO, so we will trade off Golden Go for Valiant. So that is a very fortunate investment. We had just enough HP to take that. We might have lived on like 1 without our investment. So Valiant ends up going 0-1. Golden Go now has 2 KOs. And he still has Ting-Lu, Florges, and Serena. Obviously Ting-Lu is an absolutely free switch in here. And I think that's who this is. It is the Ting-Lu. If he sets up a spike here, it will KO. Which is really not good. We don't have great ways to beat Ting-Lu at this point. Our win con is 100% Grafai, which is not great. I think we just need to weaken Ting-Lu, because if he does set up 1 spike, then it's irrelevant that we switch this out. So I will just drop another Make It Rain. If he just hits me, then yeah, it's fine. So we do a reasonable chunk, which makes me think he's more Fizz-Def than Spadef. It's just Throat Chop, which is totally fine. So last time he was Payback. This time he decided to go with Throat Chop. Golden Go ends up going 2-1. Ting-Lu has a KO on the board. Now we have a decision to make. He's definitely defensive. Low kick Cinderace does a lot here. Could be when we set up Grafai, but I actually don't think we knock this out at +1. Terra Fighting. I mean, we might. Because once we Terra, he shouldn't be able to KO us. I think. I could also go Cinderace, but Cinderace is really nice into his last 2. So, I mean, Cinderace doesn't beat Florges where Grafai does, you know? It's tough. I think I just use Cinderace to weaken this, and I can U-turn into Grafai on Florges. Because it does about 50% to both Cinderace and Grafai, and obviously I can just low kick either of them. Now, Florges is a relatively free switch-in for him here. We could have Gunk Shot. And Moltres ended up being kind of a waste. Like, it is not useful in the same game, so I think if he does go Florges here, I will pivot into the Moltres, try to get Weakness Policy Pop. He does switch. Almost certainly Florges, right? Liv Morgan. Yep, Florges. So we can get an idea of the set. I keep thinking I miss. It does negative damage. Which is to be expected. We are a fighting type. I am going to U-turn. I'm going to U-turn into Moltres. And hopefully he goes for Moonblast and doesn't get the drop. And we can get our Weakness Policy active, and we can at least do 40% of this so that Grafai can revenge it for free. Yeah, because a Gunk Shot from Grafai should take this out, always. Even with the chip we have now, it's close. Also, we saw he wasn't U-turn, which makes me a little scared that he's like Gebia Berry. but there's no real way for us to know at this point. U-turn, we'll do another baby chip. And yeah, Moltres is just not relevant here. It does beat the Serena, I suppose, but it just struggles a lot more, and we need at least a little bit of health on Grafai. So it's a crazy battle. It's so offensive on both sides. Just go for a Wish. So I would happily eat a Moonblast here. I mean, I kind of want to taunt, but also, I mean, Air Slash chip doesn't matter here, right? But also an agility is not really relevant. I guess if Serena can outpace me... No, I outspeed everything at max, unless it's Scarfed. So I think I can just hit him with a taunt, really. Let's see if he goes for anything cheeky or if he just attacks me. He's Mental Herb. Okay, I'm glad we know. Light Screen. Okay, that's cool. Damn, so that Mental Herb really put in work there because it allowed him to get up a Light Screen, and now Moltres is just kind of useless here. We'll go for an Air Slash to do baby damage to him. We really just need a little bit of chip for Grafai. We do get a flinch, so I guess we're wasting screen turns. I hope he's not Reflect. Does Floor just get Reflect, or does it only get Light Screen? Because I know there are some weird Pokemon that only get one or the other. It does seem like Floor just doesn't get Reflect, so I'm okay just spamming Air Slash here. He does Alluring Voice, so I'm glad we did an Agility. It does barely less than half. We don't get our Berserk boost by like 5 points, but we do get a Weakness Policy up. Obviously he could Wish here. I think that might be a roll with Alluring Voice, which is a little scary. So it depends fully on his investment, but yeah, it does look like it's a pretty dirty roll, so he definitely could get it here. Air Slash would mean Grafai always KOs with Gunk, but I think it's better for us to taunt so he can't get a Wish up here. Obviously, you go something like Ting Lu. He likes not to. So, does he just hit me again, or does he try to Wish? Does just hit me again. Do we live? We live on 9, so we get our Berserk boost. And we're now at +3, which is still never KOing, especially with that Light Screen up. We can see that the Light Screen is not on our side of the field. This is the last turn if he's not Light Clay, which he's not. I can just drop one more Air Slash. We will do Marginal Chip, and by that I mean we'll miss our third Air Slash again. That's like so many times in a row we've missed Air Slash. That Air Slash would have done, with Light Screen at +3, about 25%. Not relevant, assuming we hit this Gunk Shot. So we know he's Alluring Voice and Chilling Water again, so very similar set to last time. Grafai always KOs this with Gunk Shot. Like, there is not a world in which we don't KO this, but that's assuming we land the move. And if it's anything like the rest of our season, then that's very unlikely. I don't think we want to Terra here. If his last move is... No, he's Wish, Light Screen, Chilling Water, Alluring Voice, so we're totally fine. We can just click Gunk Shot for free. Worst thing that happens is Ting Lu comes in and then we Terra on it. So we do land our Gunk Shot, which is amazing. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, Serena doesn't get a priority move. So on Ting Lu, we Terra Low Kick. Then Endure. Terra Low Kick. The only way that bites us is if he is Weakness Policy. Yeah, because if we Terra, he only does about half to us. Our Low Kick will not KO him here, so it wouldn't hurt to go for a knockoff first. But if he's got some kind of tech on it, then I would rather have the damage so the Cinderace might be able to clean up with Pyro Ball. So we'll Terra and just drop a Low Kick. If he's Weakness Policy, he's Weakness Policy. I was not keeping up with KOs a second ago. I think Moltres just went 0-1. And Floor just went 1-1. So we'll drop a Low Kick here. This should do 56 to 65. Let's do pretty much just that. It's not weakness policy. Earthquake does not KO us. There might be a safe way to end this. It looks like 2 Serena. Gunk Shot definitely KOs. At +1, it's still got to be Gunk Shot. So our Lychee Berry and Dur really is not relevant. I also don't know that Rapid Spin KOs us, but it would put him in a really good position. We'll just go for another low kick. Grifai does get a KO. King Lu goes 1-1. And now it is Serena versus Grifai and Cinderace. Even if it knocks me out with a Rapid Spin, worst case, it has to dodge both a Gunk Shot and somehow either KO Cinderace or dodge a Pyro Ball. So, I mean, I could also Endure here, and that would get us a speed boost and the attack boost. But there's not really a point, so I think I will just Gunk Shot. We do land, and is it Sash? It's not Sash! And we actually win our quarterfinals game. That is insane. I had no expectations going into this. I was terrified. I thought we just straight up lost to Gyarados immediately. But luckily Grifai clutched up. I almost brought Leafeon over, like an AV Leafeon, and I'm so glad I didn't based on what he has left. So we narrowly skate by. I think we did pretty well reserving our resources, but damn, our opponent played that really well. Just super aggressive, never gave me a chance to set up really, never gave me a chance to do much. We hit the moves we needed to hit, and that changes the game a lot of the time, you know? So we'll be back next week with semis. I don't know who we play. We might play like Nova, we might play someone we played before, we might play someone new. There's some people we've never played in the playoff bracket, so we'll see. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like, and we will see you next week.